Welcome. The peace we often search for in distant places and future moments is, in truth, closer than our own breath. It has been here all along, patiently waiting, like the quiet earth beneath our feet. Before we begin our journey tonight, feel free to share what time it is for you and from what corner of the world you are listening. It is a gentle way to connect our quiet moments together across the globe. Tonight, we will walk through stories that have traveled across centuries, passed from teacher to student in the hushed stillness of mountain temples and moonlit gardens. These are not puzzles to be solved or lessons to be memorized. Think of them as gentle mirrors, reflecting a truth you already know but may have forgotten in the busyness of your day. The masters who lived these teachings understood that truth cannot be captured through effort, the way one might capture a butterfly in a net. It reveals itself when we are still. So, there is nothing for you to do tonight except to listen. Allow your body to sink deeper into whatever supports it, letting go of the need to hold yourself up. Allow your breath to find its own slow, quiet rhythm, a gentle tide rising and falling without any effort from you. These stories work best when they are received the way a quiet forest floor receives the rain, without resistance, without trying to hold on to every single drop. Some will speak to you clearly, while others may simply pass through, doing their quiet work beneath the surface of your awareness. There is no destination we are rushing toward, no goal to achieve before sleep finds you. The journey itself is the destination. So settle in now, take a slow, deep breath, and let us begin our journey together. In a land of high mountains, where mist gathers in the valleys each evening, like a soft, white blanket, there stood a temple. It was ancient, its wooden beams dark with the rain and sun of 1,000 seasons, its moss-covered roof a gentle curve against the sky. The temple was named Ryokan-ji, the temple of the good dragon, and it was known for its profound stillness. The gardens of Ryokan-ji were tended by generations of monks who understood that caring for the earth was a form of meditation. In autumn, the maple trees that lined the stone pathways would blaze in shades of crimson and gold, their leaves falling like silent, colorful rain onto the raked gravel below. The air would carry the crisp, clean scent of pine and the damp, earthy smell of the forest floor. It was a place where every season had its own beauty, its own teaching. An old master named Ryokan lived at this temple. He had arrived as a boy and had stayed for 70 years, learning the rhythms of the place until they became his own. The other monks said that Ryokan moved like water, flowing around obstacles without struggle, always finding the path of least resistance. When he raked the gravel in the Zen garden, his movements were a slow, graceful dance. When he prepared tea, his hands moved with a focused attention that made the simple act seem sacred. He was a man who had found his home in the present moment. One crisp autumn afternoon, when the sun was casting long shadows across the valley, a scholar arrived at the temple gate. He was a man of great learning, known throughout the land for his sharp intellect and his vast knowledge of the sacred texts. He had read every scroll, debated every philosophy, and had come to the conclusion that he understood the nature of reality better than anyone else. But despite all his knowledge, a quiet dis-ease gnawed at his heart. He felt that something was missing, a piece of the puzzle he could not find in all his books. Is less than hajon. Number is greater than. He found Ryokan in the garden, not performing some grand ceremony, but simply sitting on a stone bench, watching a single red maple leaf drift slowly to the ground. The scholar, whose name was Kenji, stood for a moment, impatient, his mind already formulating a dozen complex questions about the nature of enlightenment. He cleared his throat, and Ryokan looked up, his face as serene and untroubled as a calm lake. His eyes held a deep, quiet wisdom that made Kenji's carefully prepared questions suddenly seem foolish. "Master," Kenji began, his voice full of the confidence of his learning, "I have come to discuss the deepest truths of Zen. I have studied the words of all the great masters. I have contemplated the most profound koans. I believe I have come to a clear understanding, but I wish to test my knowledge against yours." Ryokan listened with a gentle smile, his gaze never leaving the scholar's face. When Kenji had finished, Ryokan simply nodded and said, "The journey has been long. You must be thirsty. Come, let us have some tea." He led the scholar to a small, simple room overlooking the garden. The room was bare except for a low table and a few cushions on the tatami mat floor. The air was still and fragrant with the scent of old wood and incense. Ryokan moved with a quiet grace, his movements unhurried and precise. He lit a small charcoal fire, filled an iron kettle with fresh spring water, and placed it on the fire. He took out 2 simple earthenware cups, their surfaces imperfect and unique. Kenji watched, a little impatiently, his mind still racing with the philosophical points he wanted to debate. The water in the kettle began to sing, a soft, high-pitched hum that was the only sound in the room. Ryokan carefully measured out the green tea leaves, his attention completely absorbed in the task. He poured the hot water over the leaves, and a delicate, grassy aroma filled the air. He let the tea steep for a moment, the silence in the room deepening, becoming a presence in itself. Then, he picked up the small teapot and began to pour the tea into Kenji's cup. He poured slowly, the pale green liquid filling the cup. But then, something strange happened. The cup was full, yet Ryokan did not stop pouring. The tea overflowed, spilling onto the saucer, and then onto the wooden table, a steaming, fragrant stream. Kenji watched in astonishment, and then, in alarm. "Master!" he exclaimed, unable to contain himself any longer. "Stop! The cup is full. No more will go in." Ryokan stopped pouring and looked at Kenji, his eyes twinkling with a gentle amusement. "Like this cup," he said softly, "you are full of your own opinions and speculations. You come to me with a mind that is already overflowing with knowledge, with ideas, with conclusions. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" The words, spoken so simply, struck Kenji with the force of a thunderbolt. He looked at the overflowing cup, at the wasted tea, and he saw a perfect reflection of his own mind. He had come to the master not to learn, but to display his own learning. He had come, not with an open mind, but with a full one. He had been so busy formulating his own questions that he had not been truly listening. He had been so focused on what he already knew that there was no room for anything new to enter. In that moment, sitting in the quiet, fragrant room, Kenji understood. The great Zen master Dogen once wrote, "To study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. To forget the self is to be actualized by myriad things." Kenji had spent his life studying the self, but he had never learned how to forget it. He sat in silence for a long time, the master's words echoing in his mind. The overflowing cup on the table was a powerful and a humbling teaching. It showed him the arrogance of his own intellect, the poverty of a mind that is closed to wonder. He had been so proud of his full cup, but now he saw that it was a prison. It kept him from experiencing the world as it truly is, fresh, new, and alive in every moment. Ryokan did not say another word. He simply sat with Kenji, his presence a silent invitation to let go. He cleaned up the spilled tea with a calm and unhurried grace, his movements a teaching in themselves. He then prepared another cup of tea, and this time, he served it to Kenji with a gentle bow. Kenji received the cup with both hands, his heart filled with a new and a profound humility. He drank the tea, and it was the most delicious tea he had ever tasted. It was the taste of an empty cup, the taste of a beginner's mind. For the rest of the afternoon, they sat together in the quiet room, not as a master and a scholar, but as two human beings sharing a moment of peace. They did not speak of Zen. They did not debate philosophy. They simply watched the autumn leaves fall in the garden, their colors a silent poem of letting go. Kenji learned more in that silent afternoon than he had in all his years of studying the sacred texts. He learned that wisdom is not found in the accumulation of knowledge, but in the emptying of the mind. He learned that the path to peace is not a path of striving, but a path of surrender. He learned that the greatest teachings are not found in books, but in the simple, ordinary moments of life, the falling of a leaf, the brewing of tea, the quiet sharing of a silent afternoon. He had come to the temple with a full cup, and he was leaving with an empty one, and in that emptiness, he had found a fullness that he had never known before. He had found the beginning of the path. Let the image of Aikido's quiet realization settle in your mind, like a stone sinking into the depths of a still pond. His journey is our journey. We all carry burdens we do not need to carry. We all cling to stories that cause us suffering, and the path to freedom, for all of us, is the path of learning to let go. Now, let us shift our awareness to a scene of even greater peril and an even more profound discovery of the present moment. The traveler, dangling from the vine, is a stark and powerful image of our own existence. We are all suspended in this brief and precious life. With the past we cannot change behind us, and the future we cannot know before us. The white mouse of day and the black mouse of night are relentlessly gnawing away at our time. It is a predicament that can fill us with a deep and a primal fear. We can spend our entire lives in a state of anxiety, our minds fixated on the tigers and the mice, on the dangers that surround us and the time that is running out. But the traveler in the story shows us another way. In the midst of his terror, he does not fall into despair. He does not waste his final moments in a frantic struggle against the inevitable. Instead, he finds a moment of grace. He finds the strawberry. This is not an act of denial or of escapism. It is an act of profound wisdom. It is the recognition that even in a situation of utter hopelessness, there is still the possibility of experiencing the simple, profound beauty of the present moment. Imagine the scene with all your senses. Feel the rough, fibrous texture of the vine in the traveler's hand, the strain in his muscles. Hear the terrifying sound of the tiger's growl from above, the rustle of the other tiger in the rocks below. Hear the faint, persistent, and horrifying sound of the mice's teeth. Feel the cool air on his skin, the vast, empty space below him, and then see the strawberry. See its vibrant red color against the dull gray of the rock. See the tiny seeds on its surface, the delicate green leaves that crown it. Imagine its sweet, wild fragrance. In that moment of seeing, the traveler's world shifts. His attention moves from the terror that surrounds him to the beauty that is before him. He makes a choice. He chooses to focus not on what he is losing, but on what he has. And what he has, in that one, single, precious moment, is a perfect, ripe strawberry. The great Zen master Hakuin, who taught about the importance of finding Zen in the midst of life's activities, would have recognized this as the ultimate practice. It is easy to be peaceful in a quiet temple, but can you find peace while dangling from a vine between two tigers? The traveler's act of eating the strawberry is a radical act of presence. It is a declaration that life is not about the past or the future, but about this very moment. It is a recognition that the quality of our life is not determined by our circumstances, but by the quality of our attention. We can be in a palace and be miserable, or we can be on a cliff edge and experience a moment of pure joy. It all depends on where we place our minds. Let this story be a gentle reminder to you as you rest here to find the strawberries in your own life. They are always there, even in the midst of your own tigers and your own cliffs. They are in the simple sensation of your breath, the warmth of your bed, the quiet of this moment. You do not need to wait for your life to be perfect, to be happy. You can find happiness right here, right now, in the simple, sweet taste of the present moment. How sweet it is. Now, let us travel to the village of the master Hakuin, the man who met both praise and blame with the same unshakable peace. His story is a powerful teaching on the freedom of non-attachment. Hakuin's equanimity is not a form of apathy or of cold indifference. It is the result of a deep and a profound understanding of the nature of the self. He knows that his true identity is not dependent on the opinions of others. He is not the holy man that the villagers admire, nor is he the hypocrite that they scorn. He is something far deeper, far more mysterious, something that cannot be touched by the ever-changing winds of praise and of blame. When the villagers accuse him, he does not defend himself. He does not argue. He does not try to protect his reputation. He simply accepts their reality with the words, "Is that so?" He is not agreeing with them. He is simply acknowledging their perception, their story, without getting caught up in it. He is allowing them to have their experience without needing it to be different. This is an act of profound compassion, both for them and for himself. He is freeing them from the need to be right, and he is freeing himself from the need to defend an identity that is, in the end, just an illusion. And when he takes the child, he does so with a full and a loving heart. He does not see the child as a burden, as a symbol of his shame. He sees only a helpless being who needs his care. He becomes a father, and in doing so, he demonstrates the true meaning of spiritual practice. It is not about retreating from the world, but about engaging with it with a full and a compassionate heart. He finds his Zen not in the quiet of his meditation hut, but in the messy, demanding, and beautiful reality of caring for a child. Dogen's mysterious phrase, One continuous mistake can also be Zen, is brought to life. Hakuun allows the mistake to be, and in doing so, he transforms it into an opportunity for love, for compassion, for a deeper and a more embodied wisdom. When the truth is revealed and the parents come to take the child back, his response is exactly the same. Is that so? He gives the child back with the same grace and the same lack of attachment with which he received him. He does not cling to his role as a father. He does not demand an apology. He does not revel in his own vindication. He is simply present, responding to the new situation with the same quiet and untroubled heart. He is a man who is truly free. This story invites us to look at our own lives, at our own attachments. We are so attached to our reputations, to our identities, to our stories about who we are. We are so afraid of being misunderstood, of being judged, of being seen in a negative light. And this fear is a prison. It keeps us from being authentic, from being spontaneous, from being truly free. Hakuun shows us that there is another way. There is a way to live in the world without being a prisoner of its opinions. There is a way to find a peace that is so deep, so unshakable, that it cannot be touched by the storms of life. As you lie here, on the edge of sleep, let the image of Hakuun be a source of deep peace and of quiet strength. Let his simple words, "Is that so?" be a gentle mantra that you can use to meet the ups and downs of your own life. When you are praised, you can say to yourself, "Is that so?" and not get carried away by pride. When you are blamed, you can say to yourself, "Is that so?" and not get dragged down by shame. You can begin to find a place of balance, of equanimity, of a deep and a lasting peace that is your own true nature. Rest now in that peace. Rest in the freedom of a heart that is not afraid, a heart that is open, a heart that is at home in the quiet center of its own being. Let us now return to the temple courtyard, where the two young monks, Jiro and Kenji, are standing in humbled silence before the master Huineng. The world, which a moment ago had been a battleground for their competing ideas, has suddenly become quiet. The master's words, "It is your minds that are moving," have shifted their entire universe. They are no longer looking at the world, but at the mind that is looking at the world. And in that shift, everything changes. Imagine the scene. The breeze continues to blow, a cool and refreshing presence. The flag continues to ripple, its colors a vibrant splash against the gray stone of the temple walls. Nothing in the external world has changed. The change has happened within. The two monks are no longer trapped in the narrow prison of their own opinions. They are standing in the vast open space of a new kind of awareness. They are beginning to understand that the world is not what they think it is. It is something far more mysterious, far more beautiful, far more alive. We are all like Jiro and Kenji. We live in a world that is largely of our own making. We do not see the world as it is, but as we are. We project our own thoughts, our own beliefs, our own fears and desires onto the world, and then we mistake those projections for reality. We create a world of division, of conflict, of us and them, and then we wonder why we are not at peace. The teaching of the flag and the wind is a radical invitation to wake up from this dream, to see the world with new eyes, the eyes of a still and a quiet mind. When the mind is still, we can see the world as it truly is. a seamless, interconnected, and miraculous whole. We can see that the wind and the flag are not two separate things, but two aspects of a single, unified reality. The wind needs the flag to show its movement. The flag needs the wind to come alive. They are partners in a cosmic dance, and that dance is happening right here, right now, in this very moment. When we can see this, our hearts are filled with a sense of awe, of wonder, of a deep and a quiet reverence for the mystery of existence. This is the peace that Zen offers. It is not a peace that comes from escaping the world, but a peace that comes from seeing the world as it truly is. It is the peace of a mind that has come to rest, a mind that is no longer at war with itself or with the world. It is the peace of simply being, of allowing the world to be as it is, without the need to change it, to control it, or to have an opinion about it. As you rest here, allow your own mind to come to rest. Let go of your thoughts, your opinions, your judgments, and just for a moment, experience the world directly, without the filter of your moving mind. Feel the breath in your body. Hear the sounds in the room, and know the deep and a quiet peace of a mind that has come home to itself. Now, let us travel one last time to the muddy road, to the traveler who found a diamond and gave it away. This story, so simple and so profound, is a teaching about the true nature of wealth, of happiness, of a life that is lived with an open and a generous heart. The traveler's journey is a difficult one. The road is hard, he is tired and hungry, and yet he is a man of a cheerful and a resilient spirit. Why? Because his happiness is not dependent on his external circumstances. It comes from a source within, a source that is not affected by the mud on the road or the emptiness in his stomach. When he finds the diamond, he is not consumed by greed. He does not see it as a solution to all his problems. He sees it for what it is, a beautiful stone. But he also sees the suffering of the other traveler, and his heart is moved with compassion. And in that moment of compassion, he discovers a treasure that is far more valuable than the diamond. He discovers the joy of giving, the richness of a heart that is connected to the heart of another. The great Zen master Dogen taught that to be enlightened is to be intimate with all things. In his simple act of generosity, the traveler becomes intimate with the other man's suffering, and in doing so, he becomes intimate with his own true nature, which is compassion itself. His act of giving is not a sacrifice, it is a celebration. It is a celebration of the abundance that he has found within himself. He knows that his true wealth is not in what he has, but in what he is. And what he is a being of love, of compassion, of a boundless and a joyful generosity. By giving away the diamond, he is not losing anything. He is simply expressing the richness that is already his. He is allowing the treasure of his own heart to shine forth, to illuminate the muddy road, to bring a moment of grace and of beauty into a world of suffering. We live in a culture that teaches us that happiness is to be found in getting, but the wisdom of Zen teaches us that true and lasting happiness is to be found in giving. It is in the giving of our time, our attention, our kindness, our compassion, that we discover our own true wealth. It is in the forgetting of the self that we find the self. It is in the emptying of our hands that we find them filled with a treasure that the world can neither give nor take away. As you drift deeper and deeper into a state of peaceful rest, let the image of the traveler on the muddy road be a gentle reminder of the true source of your own happiness. It is not in the things you own, the status you have, the goals you achieve. It is in the love you give, the kindness you share, the compassion you feel. It is in the simple, profound, and boundless treasure of your own open and a loving heart. Rest now in the knowledge of your own true wealth. Rest in the peace of a heart that is full because it has learned the joy of giving. Rest in the deep and a quiet satisfaction of a life that is lived not for the self, but for the good of all beings. Let us return now, in the quiet of our imagination, to the simple room in the mountain temple of Ryokan-ji. The afternoon sun has softened, its light now a warm, golden honey that slants through the paper screen, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the still air. The scholar Kenji and the master Ryokan have been sitting in a shared silence for a long time, a silence that has been more instructive than any words. The empty teacup sits between them, a humble and profound teacher. Kenji's mind, once a turbulent sea of questions and arguments, has begun to settle. He is discovering a new way of being, a way of simply observing without the need to analyze or to judge. He watches the play of light and shadow on the tatami mat floor. He listens to the distant caw of a crow. He feels the gentle warmth of the teacup still held in his hands. Each sensation is simple, direct, and real. He is no longer thinking about life. He is experiencing it. Ryokan, sensing the shift in the scholar's awareness, finally speaks. His voice is as soft as the moss on the temple stones. "You came here seeking to understand Zen," he says. "But Zen is not something to be understood with the intellect. It is something to be lived with the whole of your being. It is the taste of this tea. It is the sound of the temple bell. It is the feeling of the cool evening air on your skin. It is this very moment, just as it is." He continues, "You have spent your life collecting knowledge, filling your cup to the brim, but a full cup cannot receive anything new. The practice of Zen is the practice of emptying the cup, of letting go of what you think you know, so that you can experience the world with a fresh and an open mind, the mind of a beginner." Kenji nods slowly, the truth of the master's words resonating deep within him. He has been so proud of his knowledge, but now he sees that it has been a barrier, a wall that has separated him from the direct and intimate experience of life. "But Master," Kenji asks, his voice now quiet and humble, "how does one live with an empty cup in a world that is so full of problems, of suffering, of injustice?" Ryokan's smile deepens. "An empty cup is not a vacant cup," he says. "It is a cup that is ready to receive whatever comes. It is a mind that is open, flexible, and responsive. It does not cling to pleasure, and it does not resist pain. It meets each moment with a clear and a compassionate heart. Let me tell you a story." And so, as the shadows lengthen in the quiet temple garden, the master begins to tell the story of the two monks, Tanzen and Ekido, on their journey to the river. As you listen, allow the master's voice to be a gentle guide, leading you deeper into a state of peaceful rest. Allow the story to wash over you, a gentle stream that cleanses the mind and soothes the heart. Imagine the path they walk, not just as a track through the countryside, but as the path of your own life. There are moments of beauty and of ease, like the sunlit bamboo forest. There are moments of difficulty and of struggle, like the muddy, swollen river. And along the way, we meet others who are in need of our help. The story of Tanzen and Aikido is a story about how we choose to walk this path, about the burdens we choose to carry, and the freedom we can find when we learn to let them go. Aikido, the young monk, is a man who is trapped by his ideas. He has a fixed idea of what it means to be a good monk, and he is constantly measuring himself against this idea. He is so focused on the rules, on the precepts, that he has lost his connection to his own heart, to his own natural compassion. When he sees the woman at the river, he does not see a human being in need. He sees a temptation, a threat to his purity, a problem to be avoided. His mind, full of rules and of judgments, is a closed and a rigid thing. Tanzen, on the other hand, is a man who is free. His mind is an empty cup, ready to receive the moment as it is. He sees the woman, he sees her need, and he responds with a simple, direct, and compassionate action. He does not consult a rule book, he consults his own heart. He carries the woman across the river, and in doing so, he is not breaking a precept. He is fulfilling the deepest precept of all, which is to relieve suffering wherever it is found. And once the action is complete, he lets it go. He does not carry it with him. His mind remains as clear and as untroubled as the sky after a storm. Aikido's suffering begins not at the river, but in his own mind. He is the one who continues to carry the woman, long after Tanzen has set her down. He carries her in his thoughts, in his judgments, in his righteous indignation. He is a man who is being dragged by his own mind, a prisoner of his own story. The Zen proverb, "Let go or be dragged," is a perfect description of his condition, and it is a condition that we all know so well. We all carry our own women at the river. We carry the resentments of past hurts, the anxieties about future problems, the heavy weight of our own judgments and opinions. We replay old conversations in our minds. We worry about things that have not happened. We create endless stories about ourselves and about the world. And all this carrying, all this mental activity separates us from the peace and the beauty of the present moment. It is the source of all our stress, all our anxiety, all our unhappiness. Tanzen's gentle question, "Why are you still carrying her?" is a question that is posed to each one of us in every moment of our lives. It is an invitation to look at the burdens we are carrying in our own minds and to ask ourselves why. It is an invitation to see that these burdens are not real. They are just thoughts, just stories, just creations of our own moving minds, and we can choose, in this very moment, to set them down. We can choose to let go and to be free. As you rest here, on the edge of sleep, become aware of any burdens you may be carrying in your own mind. You do not need to analyze them or to understand them. Simply acknowledge their presence, and then, with a gentle and a loving intention, imagine yourself setting them down on the bank of a great flowing river. Watch as the river carries them away until they are out of sight, and feel the lightness, the freedom, the peace that comes from letting go. You are no longer being dragged. You are walking with a new and an easy step, your heart open, your mind clear, your spirit at peace. Rest now in that freedom. Rest in that peace. Let the feeling of lightness, of setting down your burdens, deepen as we return to the most precarious of situations, the traveler on the cliff edge. This story, so stark and so simple, is a powerful koan in itself. It is a question posed to us not in words, but in imagery. What do you do when you are caught between the past you cannot escape and the future you cannot avoid, while the very ground of your being is eroding beneath you? It is the question of a human life. Let us place ourselves there, with the traveler. Feel the rough, unyielding texture of the vine in your hands, the only thing connecting you to the world of the living. Feel the pull of gravity, the vast, terrifying emptiness below. Hear the low, rumbling growl of the tiger above, a sound that vibrates in your very bones. Sense the patient, waiting presence of the tiger below, and then hear the sound that is perhaps the most terrifying of all, the small, persistent, gnawing sound of the mice. It is the sound of your own life being consumed, moment by moment. In such a situation, the mind naturally goes into a state of panic. It races, seeking a way out, an escape. It replays the past, the wrong turn that led to this cliff. It projects into the future, imagining the terrible end that awaits. The mind becomes a storm of fear, of regret, of despair. This is the normal human response. We are conditioned to struggle against what is, to resist the reality of our situation. But the traveler in the story does something extraordinary. He breaks the spell of his own mind. He does this not through some superhuman effort, but through a simple act of attention. He notices the strawberry. In the midst of all that is wrong, all that is terrifying, he finds one small thing that is right, that is beautiful, that is real. The strawberry is not a solution to his problem. It will not make the tigers go away. It will not stop the mice from gnawing, but it is a portal to another reality, a reality that is always present, even in the midst of our greatest fears. It is the reality of the present moment. The great Zen master Hakuin, who spoke of meditation in the midst of activity, would have understood this perfectly. This is the ultimate practice. It is not about finding a quiet place to sit and close your eyes. It is about finding the quiet place within yourself, even when the world around you is in chaos. It is about finding the still point, the eye of the storm, the place of peace that is always available, no matter what your external circumstances may be. The traveler's choice to eat the strawberry is a choice for life, not for survival. It is a choice to fully inhabit the one moment he has, rather than wasting it in a futile struggle against the inevitable. It is a choice to taste the sweetness of existence, even in the face of death. And in that choice, he finds a kind of freedom that the tigers cannot touch. He finds the freedom of a mind that is no longer at war with reality. This story is not a morbid tale about the inevitability of death. It is a joyful tale about the preciousness of life. It is a reminder that our lives are made up of a series of present moments, and that each one of them is a gift. Each one of them contains a strawberry, if only we have the eyes to see it. The strawberry may be the feeling of the sun on our skin, the taste of a cup of tea, the sound of a loved one's voice, the simple, miraculous rhythm of our own breath. As you lie here, surrounded by the quiet of the night, allow yourself to find the strawberry in this moment. Perhaps it is the feeling of the soft sheets against your skin. Perhaps it is the gentle weight of the blanket that covers you. Perhaps it is the profound peace of knowing that for now, there is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. You can simply be here, in this moment, and taste its simple, profound sweetness. Let go of the tigers of your past and your future. Let go of the gnawing mice of your worries and your fears, and just for a moment, taste the strawberry. How sweet it is. Let the sweet taste of the strawberry linger in your awareness, a reminder of the peace that can be found in the present moment, no matter the circumstances. This peace is not a fragile thing that can be shattered by the storms of life. It is a deep, unshakable foundation, a quiet center that remains untouched. Our next story is about a master who embodied this peace in the most challenging of situations. A man whose heart was a still lake, reflecting both the brightest sun and the darkest clouds with the same untroubled grace. In a small village, nestled in a valley surrounded by green hills, lived the Zen master Hakuun. His hut was small and simple, his needs few. He was a man who had found his wealth not in possessions, but in the vast, open space of a quiet mind. The villagers loved him, not for any grand teachings or dramatic displays, but for the simple, profound peace that seemed to radiate from him like the warmth from a gentle fire. His presence was a silent blessing upon the village. He lived a life that was deeply ordinary. He chopped wood, carried water, and tended his small garden. But he did these things with a quality of attention, a focused and loving presence that transformed the ordinary into the sacred. When he watered his vegetables, he was not just watering plants, he was nurturing life. When he swept the path to his hut, he was not just cleaning, he was clearing a space for peace. His life was a moving meditation, a seamless expression of his inner stillness. The story of Hakuun's great test began, as such stories often do, with a very human drama. A young woman in the village, the daughter of the shopkeeper, was discovered to be pregnant. Her parents, rigid and proud, were consumed with shame and anger. They demanded to know the name of the father. The girl, terrified of their wrath and wishing to protect the young man she loved, a poor fishmonger's assistant, did something desperate. In a moment of panic, she named Hakuun. The news spread through the village like a wildfire. The parents, their faces masks of righteous fury, led a crowd to Hakuun's hut. They shouted accusations, their voices sharp with betrayal. "You, who we thought was a holy man, you have brought this shame upon our family, upon our village." The crowd, which had once looked at Hakuun with reverence, now looked at him with scorn. Their admiration had curdled into contempt. Hakuun listened to the storm of their anger. He stood before them, his posture relaxed, his face a mask of serene neutrality. He did not flinch, he did not argue, he did not defend himself. He simply listened, allowing their words to wash over him like a wave, without resistance. When their fury had exhausted itself and a tense silence fell, he looked at the angry father, his gaze clear and untroubled, and said just 2 words, "Is that so?" The words were not a question. They were not an admission of guilt, nor were they a denial. They were a simple, profound acknowledgement of their reality. This is your story. This is your perception. This is what you believe to be true. He did not add his own story to the fire. He did not engage in the drama. He simply allowed it to be what it was, a storm passing through the vast, open sky of his awareness. When the child, a healthy baby boy, was born, the shopkeeper brought him to Hakuun. "This is your responsibility," he said, his voice cold and hard, and he thrust the infant into the master's arms. Hakuun accepted the child. He looked down at the small, wrinkled face, the tiny grasping hands, and his heart was filled not with resentment, but with a deep and a tender compassion. His reputation was gone, his peaceful life was shattered, but his equanimity remained. He became a father. He, who had renounced all worldly attachments, now found himself attached to this small being in the most profound way. He learned the selfless, demanding rhythm of a baby's needs. He begged for milk from his neighbors, enduring their whispers and their cold, judgmental stares. He washed the baby's clothes. He sang him to sleep. He held him when he cried. He did all this with a patient, loving, and unwavering grace. He was no longer just a Zen master. He was a mother and a father, embodying the very essence of compassionate action. The villagers watched in amazement. They had expected him to be angry or ashamed, or to abandon the child, but he simply loved him. He was living a teaching more powerful than any sermon. The great Zen master Dogen's words, "One continuous mistake can also be Zen," were being lived out in this small hut. Hakuun was allowing the mistake to be, and in doing so, he was transforming it into a profound expression of love and of freedom. More than a year passed. The young mother, tormented by her conscience, could no longer bear the weight of her lie. She confessed the truth to her parents. Filled with a terrible, burning shame, they rushed to Hakuun's hut and threw themselves at his feet. "Master, we have wronged you. Please forgive us. Our daughter has told us the truth. The child is not yours." They begged him to give the child back. Hakuun listened to their tearful confession with the same calm and untroubled heart with which he had listened to their accusations. He looked at the child, now a happy toddler playing on the floor. He smiled, a smile of pure, selfless love. He picked up the child, gave him a gentle hug, and handed him to his grandparents. And all he said was, "Is that so?" He had received the child without attachment, and he gave him back without attachment. He had loved the child completely, but he had not possessed him. He had been a father, but he had not been attached to the identity of father. He was free. This story is a deep and a quiet pool, reflecting the nature of true peace. It is a peace that is not dependent on what happens to us, but on how we relate to what happens. It is the peace of a mind that has let go of the need to be right, the need to be seen in a certain way, the need to control the ever-changing flow of life. As you rest here, allowing your body and mind to soften, let the equanimity of Hakuun be a gentle inspiration. We cannot control the winds of praise and of blame that blow through our lives, but we can learn to be like the deep, still lake, our depths untouched by the ripples on the surface. We can learn to meet every moment, every accusation, every unexpected turn of events with the quiet, liberating wisdom of, "Is that so?" Rest now in that quiet wisdom. Rest in the peace of a heart that is free. Let the profound stillness of Hakuun's heart settle into your own. His story is a quiet harbor, a place of refuge from the storms of praise and blame that blow through our lives. Now, from this place of inner quiet, let us journey back to the sunlit temple courtyard, where the master Huineng stands with his two young, earnest disciples. The air, once charged with the energy of their debate, is now calm. The only movement is the gentle, rhythmic dance of the temple flag in the wind. The two monks, Jiro and Kenji, are looking at the world with new eyes. Before the master spoke, they saw a world of separate things, a flag, a wind, two opposing ideas. They lived in a world of nouns and verbs, of causes and effects, a world that could be neatly dissected and labeled by the intellect. But Huineng's simple words, "It is your minds that are moving," have dissolved this world of separation. They are beginning to glimpse a deeper reality, a reality where everything is interconnected, a seamless and a mysterious flow. Imagine you are standing there with them. Feel the cool breeze on your skin, the same breeze that is making the flag dance. See the vibrant colors of the banner against the deep blue of the sky. The breeze on your skin and the movement of the flag are not two separate events. They are two expressions of a single, invisible energy. You cannot see the wind, but you can see its effect on the flag. You can feel its effect on your skin, the wind, the flag, and you are all part of one, unified and unfolding moment. Now, become aware of your own mind. Notice the thoughts that are arising and passing away as you listen to these words. Perhaps you are thinking about the story, trying to understand it. Perhaps you are thinking about your day, or about what you need to do tomorrow. These thoughts, like the wind and the flag, are also movements. They are movements of energy within the vast, open space of your awareness. The Master's teaching is not to stop this movement, but to recognize it for what it is. It is not reality itself, but a commentary on reality. It is the moving mind. The great suffering in our lives comes from mistaking the moving mind for reality. We believe our thoughts. We identify with them. We take them personally. When a thought of anger arises, we say, "I am angry." When a thought of fear arises, we say, "I am afraid." We become the cloud, and we forget that we are the sky. We become the ripple, and we forget that we are the still. The practice of Zen is the practice of remembering that we are the sky. It is the practice of resting in the vast, open, and unchanging awareness that is our true nature, and allowing the clouds of our thoughts and feelings to drift by without clinging to them, without resisting them, without getting lost in them. It is a practice of profound trust, a trust in the natural stillness and clarity of our own minds. A famous Zen saying goes, "When thoughts arise, then do all things arise. When thoughts vanish, then do all things vanish." This points to the creative power of our own minds. We are not passive observers of the world. We are active participants in its creation. The world we experience is a reflection of our own state of mind. If our mind is agitated and full of conflict, we will experience a world of agitation and conflict. If our mind is still and at peace, we will experience a world of stillness and of peace. This does not mean that we can control the external world with our thoughts. The wind will still blow, the flags of our lives will still flap and ripple, but we can change our relationship to these things. We can learn to see them not as problems to be solved, but as neutral phenomena, arising and passing away in the vast open space of our awareness. We can learn to stop our own minds from moving, from creating the stories of conflict and of suffering. As you lie here, on the threshold of sleep, allow this teaching to sink deep into your being. You do not need to struggle with your thoughts. You do not need to fight with your mind. You can simply allow it to be. You can watch it with a gentle and a non-judgmental attention. And in that simple act of watching, you can begin to find a space between you and your thoughts, a space of freedom, a space of peace. Rest in that space. It is your true home. It is the quiet courtyard of your own heart, where the flag and the wind are one, and the mind is finally, blessedly, at rest. From this place of inner stillness, let us make our final journey of the night, back to the muddy road and the traveler with the generous heart. This story is a beautiful counterpoint to the story of the flag and the wind. While the story of the flag teaches us about the inner world of the mind, the story of the diamond teaches us how to live in the outer world with a heart that is open, compassionate, and free. The traveler who finds the diamond is a man who is not trapped by his moving mind. He is not caught in a story of poverty and of lack. He is not consumed by a desire for a different life. He is present with the reality of his situation, the mud, the hunger, the weariness, and because he is present, he is also open to the unexpected gifts that life has to offer, like the glint of a diamond in the mud. But the true miracle of the story is not the finding of the diamond, but the giving of it. This act of generosity flows from a mind that is not caught in the story of me and mine. The traveler does not see the diamond as his. He sees it as a gift that has come to him, and he is free to pass that gift along to someone whose need is greater. He is living the wisdom of Dogen, who said, "To study the self is to forget the self." In his selfless act of giving, the traveler forgets himself, and in doing so, he finds his true self, a self that is not a separate, isolated ego, but a being that is intimately connected to all of life. His compassion for the other traveler is not a sentimental feeling. It is a deep recognition of their shared humanity. He sees the other man's suffering as his own, and his response is natural, spontaneous, and effortless. He gives not out of a sense of duty or of charity, but out of a sense of joyful connection. The joy he feels in giving is far greater than the pleasure the diamond could ever have brought him. He has discovered that the heart's true wealth is not in what it possesses, but in what it gives away. This story is a gentle and a powerful challenge to the way we live our lives. We are so often caught in the story of me, in the endless project of accumulating, of protecting, of enhancing our own separate selves. We believe that our happiness depends on getting what we want, on having our needs met. But the wisdom of Zen shows us another way. It shows us that true and lasting happiness is to be found in the opening of the heart, in the dissolving of the boundaries between self and other, in the joyful and a spontaneous expression of a love that knows no limits. As you drift towards sleep, let the warmth of the traveler's generous heart fill your own. Let go of the stories of lack, of fear, of separation, and rest in the knowledge that you, too, are a being of boundless compassion, of infinite generosity. Your true nature is a treasure of immeasurable value, a diamond that shines with the light of a love that is pure, unconditional, and free. You do not need to seek this treasure. You only need to recognize that it is already who you are. And the way to recognize it is to give it away. In every small act of kindness, in every moment of compassion, you are polishing the diamond of your own heart and allowing its brilliant light to shine forth, illuminating the muddy roads of this world with a gentle and a healing grace. Rest now in the richness of your own being. Rest in the peace of a heart that has found its home in the joy of giving. Our journey through these moonlit stories is itself a form of meditation. Each tale is a stepping stone, leading us not to a destination, but deeper into the quiet landscape of our own hearts. We have sat with the scholar and learned to empty our cup. We have walked with the monks and learned to set down our burdens. We have dangled from the cliff and tasted the sweetness of the now. We have stood with the Master and met the world with an unshakable peace. We have seen that the mind moves, and we have found a treasure greater than any diamond. Now, let us gather these teachings into a single, luminous understanding. Let us return to the quiet presence of the Master Ryokan, sitting in his simple room as the last light of day fades from the sky. He is a man who has discovered the secret of a peaceful life. It is a secret that is not hidden in some ancient scroll or in some complex philosophy. It is a secret that is as open and as obvious as the sky itself. It is the secret of the unborn mind. The great Zen master Bankei, who lived a few generations after Ryokan, spoke often of this unborn mind. It is the mind that is our true home, our original nature. It is the mind that was present before we were born, before we had a name, a story, an identity. It is the mind that is inherently, naturally, and effortlessly clear, bright, and peaceful. It is not something we need to create, or to achieve, or to attain. We only need to recognize that it is already who we are, is less than has own. Number is greater than. Think of the scholar Kenji. His mind was a born mind. It was born of his education, his experiences, his opinions, his pride. It was a mind that was constantly in motion, constantly creating stories, constantly judging and analyzing. It was a mind that was full, and because it was full, it was a source of suffering. The Master's overflowing teacup was a teaching about the need to return from the born mind to the unborn mind. It was an invitation to let go of the acquired self, the story of me, and to rest in the vast, open, and peaceful awareness that is our true nature. Think of Aikido, the young monk. His unborn mind was naturally compassionate, but his born mind, the mind that had been filled with rules and with judgments, created a conflict. It told him a story about what a good monk should do, and this story became a heavy burden that he carried for miles. Tanzan, on the other hand, was living from the unborn mind. His compassion was spontaneous, effortless, and free. He acted, and then he let go. He did not create a story. He did not create a burden. He remained in the natural, unborn peace of his own heart. The traveler on the cliff edge, in his moment of terror, had a profound experience of the unborn mind. The shock of his situation momentarily silenced his born mind, his thinking mind, his storytelling mind. And in that silence, he was able to experience the world directly, without the filter of his thoughts. He was able to see the strawberry. The taste of that strawberry was the taste of the unborn mind, the taste of life itself, fresh, new, and unburdened by the past or the future. Hakuun, the master who was falsely accused, was a man who lived continuously in the unborn mind. His born mind, the mind that cared about reputation, about praise and about blame, had long ago been seen through and let go of. He was living from a place of deep inner stillness, a place that could not be touched by the storms of the world. His simple response, "Is that so?" was the response of the unborn mind. It was a response that was free from the ego, free from the need to defend itself, free from the story of me. The two monks arguing about the flag were lost in their born minds. They were lost in their ideas. their opinions, their need to be right. The Master Huineng's teaching was a call to return to the unborn mind, the mind that is still, the mind that does not create conflict, the mind that sees the world as a unified and a mysterious whole. And the traveler with the diamond, in his spontaneous act of generosity, was expressing the very nature of the unborn mind, which is boundless compassion, a love that flows freely, unhindered by the calculations of the ego. As you lie here, on the threshold of sleep, you do not need to do anything to find this unborn mind. It is already here. It is the silent, aware presence that is hearing these words. It is the stillness that is beneath the surface of your thoughts. It is the peace that is at the very core of your being. Your only task is to let go of the born mind, the mind that is full of worries, of plans, of memories, of stories. You can let go of the story of your day. You can let go of the story of your life. You can let go of the story of me. And in that letting go, you can simply rest. Rest in the vast, open, and peaceful awareness that is your true home. It is a home that is always here, always waiting for you. It is a home that is free from all fear, from all anxiety, from all suffering. It is the home of the unborn mind. Rest now in that home. Rest in that peace. Rest in the silent, luminous, and boundless mystery of your own true nature. Let the concept of the unborn mind be a gentle, silent hum beneath the surface of your awareness. It is not a complex idea to be grasped, but a reality to be felt, to be experienced. It is as close as your own breath, as simple as the feeling of the air on your skin. Let us now, in these quiet moments, explore the sensory gateways to this profound and simple truth. Return, in your imagination, to the mountain temple of Ryokanji. The sun has now set, and a deep, velvety darkness has enveloped the valley. A full moon has risen, casting a silver light on the world. The temple, its dark wood now silhouetted against the sky, seems to be breathing in the quiet of the night. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the scent of pine and the faint sweet fragrance of night-blooming jasmine from the garden. Imagine you are sitting on the veranda, your body relaxed, your mind at ease. You are not trying to meditate. You are not trying to achieve anything. You are simply being present with the night. Listen. Listen to the symphony of the darkness. There is the gentle, rhythmic chirping of crickets, a sound that has been the lullaby of the earth for millennia. There is the occasional, soft hoot of a distant owl, a sound that is both lonely and comforting. There is the whisper of the wind in the tall bamboo, a sound that is like the gentle shushing of the universe itself. These sounds are not a distraction. They are the voice of the night. They are the expression of the unborn mind, the silent, aware presence in which all sounds arise and pass away. You can listen to these sounds without labeling them, without judging them. You can simply allow them to be a gentle and a soothing massage for your awareness. In this simple act of listening, your own mind becomes as quiet and as vast as the night itself. Now, bring your attention to the feeling of the night air on your skin. It is cool and fresh, a gentle and a constant caress. Feel it on your face, on your hands, on any part of your body that is exposed. It is a reminder that you are alive, that you are a part of this living, breathing world. The boundary between you and the night begins to dissolve. The air that you breathe in is the same air that is touching the leaves of the trees. that is carrying the scent of the jasmine, that is filling the entire valley. You are not separate from the night. You are a part of it. You are breathing it in, and it is breathing you. Look up at the moon. It hangs in the dark sky like a perfect, luminous pearl. It is a symbol of the unborn mind, the mind that is inherently bright, clear, and serene. The moon does not create its own light. It simply reflects the light of the Sunday. In the same way, your own true nature does not need to create peace or to create joy. It simply reflects the peace and the joy that are the very fabric of existence. When the clouds of your born mind, the clouds of your thoughts and your worries, drift away, the bright, clear moon of your unborn mind is revealed. It has been there all along, patiently waiting. Let the story of the overflowing teacup be a reminder of the need to create space for this moonlight to enter. The scholar's mind was so full of the artificial light of his own knowledge that he could not see the natural light of the moon. By emptying his cup, by letting go of his certainties, he created a space for the quiet, luminous wisdom of the night to enter his heart. As you lie here, you can do the same. You can let go of the need to know, the need to understand. You can simply be here, in this moment, with an open and a receptive heart, allowing the gentle moonlight of your own true nature to illuminate you from within. Let the story of the two monks be a reminder that the burdens we carry are just clouds that obscure the moon. Ekido's mind was a storm of judgmental clouds, and he could not see the simple, compassionate beauty of Tanzen's heart. When he finally let go of his story, his clouds parted, and he was able to see the clear, peaceful sky of the present moment. As you rest here, you can let go of your own clouds. You can let the winds of your breath gently blow away the worries, the resentments, the fears, and you can rest in the clear, open, and boundless sky of your own peaceful mind. Let the story of the strawberry be a reminder that the moonlight is always here, even when we are dangling from a cliff. The traveler, in his moment of terror, found a single, perfect ray of moonlight in the form of a strawberry. He found a moment of pure, unadulterated presence, a moment of sweetness that transcended his fear. This is the power of the unborn mind. It is a presence that is not defeated by circumstances. It is a peace that can be found in the very heart of the storm. As you lie here, know that this peace is within you, a quiet and an unshakable presence that is stronger than any of your fears. Let the story of Hakuin be a reminder that the moon shines equally on all things. It shines on the praise, and it shines on the blame. It shines on the joy, and it shines on the sorrow. Hakuin was a man who had become like the moon. His heart was so open, so vast, so full of a quiet and a steady light, that it could hold all the experiences of life without being disturbed by them. He was free because he was not attached to any particular reflection. He was simply the light that illuminated all things with an equal and a compassionate grace. As you rest here, you can connect with that same light within you, the light of a heart that is big enough to hold all of your life, the light of a love that is unconditional and free. Let the story of the flag and the wind be a reminder that the movement of the clouds is not the sky. The movement of our thoughts is not our true nature. We can learn to rest as the sky, watching the clouds of our mind come and go without getting lost in them. And let the story of the diamond be a reminder that the most precious light is the light that shines from an open and a generous heart. It is the light of our own unborn mind, expressing itself as love, as compassion, as a joyful and a selfless giving. This is the light that can illuminate the muddy roads of this world and transform them into a path of beauty, of grace, and of peace. Rest now in the gentle, silver light of this understanding. You are the sky, vast, open, and at peace. You are the moon, luminous and serene. You are the heart that is big enough to hold all of life. You are the treasure that the world has been searching for. You are the unborn mind, and your true nature is a profound and a lasting peace. Let this knowing be the final, gentle wave that carries you out into the deep and a dreamless ocean of a restorative sleep. Rest now, be at peace. Let the gentle silver light of the unborn mind illuminate your path as you drift deeper into the landscape of rest. This is not a journey to a new place, but a remembrance of the place you have never left. It is the quiet center of your own being, the silent, aware presence that is listening to these words. The stories we have shared are not just tales from long ago, they are living teachings, pointing the way back to this inner home. Let us revisit the scholar Kenji, his cup now empty, his mind now quiet. Imagine the years of effort he had expended, the mountains of books he had climbed, all in the pursuit of a knowledge that he believed would bring him peace. His mind was a fortress, its walls built from the bricks of facts, theories, and arguments. He was safe within his fortress, but he was also a prisoner. He could see the world only through the narrow arrow slits of his own understanding. He was an expert on the menu, but he had never tasted the food. Master Ryokan's overflowing teacup was an act of profound compassion. It was a mirror held up to the scholar's soul, showing him the poverty of his own fullness. The spilled tea was not a waste. It was a baptism, a washing away of the pride and the certainty that had kept him from the living truth. The great Zen master Shunryu Suzuki said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few." Kenji, in that moment of humbling realization, was reborn as a beginner. The fortress of his mind had crumbled, and in its place was the vast open field of a mind that is ready to learn, to wonder, to be touched by the simple, profound mystery of existence. This beginner's mind is available to you right now. It is the mind that is not burdened by the past, not anxious about the future. It is the mind that meets each moment with a fresh and a curious attention. As you lie here, you can let go of being an expert on your own life. You can let go of the story of who you think you are, of what you think you know. You can simply be here, in this moment, with the open, receptive, and peaceful mind of a beginner. And in this gentle, unknowing state, you can discover a wisdom that is deeper than all knowledge, a peace that is more satisfying than any answer. Now, let your awareness drift to the path where Tanzen and Aikido are walking into the sunset. Aikido's transformation is a quiet and a powerful one. For hours, his mind had been a noisy, crowded courtroom. He was the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury, and Tanzen was the one on trial. He had been so caught up in the drama of his own judgment that he had been completely blind to the beauty of the world around him and deaf to the quiet wisdom of his own heart. He was carrying a heavy, invisible burden, a burden made of his own thoughts. Tanzen, on the other hand, walked with an empty mind and an open heart. He was not carrying the woman. He was not carrying the precepts. He was not carrying a story about himself as a good or a bad monk. He was simply walking, breathing, being. His action at the river was not a decision made by the intellect. It was a spontaneous expression of the unborn mind, which is naturally and effortlessly compassionate. It sees a need, and it responds, without calculation, without hesitation. It is the heart of a bodhisattva, a being who lives for the welfare of others. When Tanzen asks, "Why are you still carrying her?" he is not just speaking to Aikido, he is speaking to all of us. We all carry our own ghosts. We carry the ghosts of past arguments, past hurts, past failures. We allow these ghosts to haunt the beautiful, living present. We give them a home in our minds, and we feed them with our attention. And they, in turn, rob us of our peace, our joy, our freedom. The practice of Zen is the practice of gentle exorcism. It is the practice of noticing the ghosts we are carrying and, with a kind and a firm intention, setting them down. We do not need to fight with them. We do not need to analyze them. We simply need to stop carrying them. As you rest here, on the soft bed of this present moment, take a gentle inventory of your own mind. Are there any ghosts you are still carrying? Any old resentments? Any lingering regrets? If so, you do not need to do anything about them. Simply see them for what they are, just thoughts, just memories, just stories. They have no power over you unless you give it to them. You can choose, in this moment, to set them down. You can choose to be here, now, in this fresh, new moment, unburdened by the past. Feel the lightness that comes with this letting go, the quiet peace of a mind that has been swept clean. Let the quiet peace of a mind swept clean be your companion as you drift further into the gentle currents of sleep. The stories we have shared are not separate islands of wisdom, but interconnected points in a constellation of truth. They all point to the same moon, the same silent, luminous reality that is your own true nature. Let us now trace the connections between them, seeing how they reflect and illuminate one another. The traveler dangling from the cliff, tasting the sweetness of the strawberry, is living the most profound kind of beginner's mind. In that moment of utter peril, his cup is violently emptied of all plans, all hopes, all theories about life. All that is left is the raw, direct, and incredibly vivid experience of the present moment. He is not thinking about the strawberry, he is tasting it. He is not analyzing his situation, he is living it. This is the essence of Zen. It is a return to the senses, a return to the body, a return to the simple, miraculous reality of what is, right here, right now. This radical presence is the source of Hakuin's unshakable equanimity. He is not disturbed by the villagers' praise or their blame, because he is not living in the world of their stories. He is living in the world of direct experience. He is feeling the warmth of the baby in his arms. He is smelling the scent of the milk. He is hearing the sound of the child's breath. He is so fully present with the reality of the moment that he has no energy left for the drama of his own ego. His peace comes not from having a perfect life, but from being perfectly present with the life he has. This is the same presence that allowed Tanzen to walk away from the river, his mind as clear and as untroubled as a calm lake. He was fully present with the act of compassion, and then he was fully present with the act of walking. He did not allow the memory of the past to become a ghost that haunted his present. He was living in a continuous flow of present moments, each one new, each one complete in itself. This is the freedom of a mind that has learned to let go. The argument between Jiro and Kenji about the flag and the wind was a perfect example of a mind that is not present. They were not experiencing the reality of the courtyard. They were experiencing the reality of their own thoughts. They were lost in a world of concepts, of ideas, of right and wrong. The master's teaching was a call to come back to the senses, to come back to the body, to come back to the direct, non-conceptual experience of the world. When the mind is still, we can see that the wind and the flag are not two, but one. We can see that all of life is a seamless and a mysterious dance, and we are a part of that dance. The traveler with the diamond is a man who is living this dance. He is not separate from the world. He is intimate with it. His act of giving is not a calculated decision. It is a spontaneous expression of his own true nature, which is open, loving, and free. He is able to give away the diamond because he knows that his true wealth is not something that can be held in the hand, but something that is felt in the heart. He is a man who has found the treasure of the unborn mind, the treasure that is our shared inheritance. All of these stories, in their different ways, are pointing to the same simple truth. The peace you are searching for is not in a different place, or a different time, or a different set of circumstances. It is right here, right now, in this very moment. It is in the feeling of your breath, in the sound of the silence, in the simple, profound, and miraculous fact of your own existence. You do not need to do anything to find it. You only need to stop doing all the things that are obscuring it. You only need to let go of the struggle, to quiet the moving mind, and to rest in the vast, open, and peaceful awareness that is your own true nature. As you lie on the threshold of sleep, let this truth be your final, gentle lullaby. You are not the stories you tell yourself. You are not the thoughts that move through your mind. You are not the emotions that rise and fall like waves. You are the deep, still ocean beneath the waves. You are the vast, open sky that holds the clouds. You are the silent, aware presence that is witnessing this whole, entire, miraculous show. Rest in that presence. It is your true home. It is your ultimate refuge. It is the source of a peace that is beyond all understanding, a peace that is yours, now and always. Sleep now. Sleep in the deep and a dreamless peace of your own true nature. Let us now leave the quiet temple of Ryokanji and join two monks on a journey. Their names were Tanzen and Aikido, and they were walking on a pilgrimage from one monastery to another. The path they traveled was a narrow, winding track through a landscape of breathtaking beauty. It led them through dense forests of bamboo, where the light filtered through the tall green stalks in shifting patterns. It took them across rolling hills, where terraced rice paddies shimmered in the sun like a patchwork of green and gold. It guided them along the banks of a clear, fast-flowing river, its water a constant, soothing murmur. Tanzen, the senior monk, was a man in his later years. His face was a map of a life lived with a deep and a quiet joy. His movements were slow and deliberate, his presence calm and reassuring. He walked with a sense of ease, as if he were simply a part of the landscape, no different from the trees or the river or the clouds. He seemed to notice everything: the intricate web of a spider, the iridescent wings of a dragonfly, the way the wind made the tall grasses dance. He was a man who was fully present in every moment of his journey. Ekido, the junior monk, was much younger. He was earnest and sincere, deeply committed to his practice, but his mind was often a whirlwind of thoughts, of rules, of judgments. He was constantly measuring his own progress, worrying about whether he was being a good monk, comparing himself to Tanzen. He walked with a certain stiffness, his body reflecting the tension in his mind. He was so focused on the destination, on the idea of being a good pilgrim, that he often missed the beauty of the path itself. For many hours, they walked in a companionable silence, the only sounds the crunch of their sandals on the gravel path, the chirping of birds in the trees, and the distant rush of the river. The rhythm of their walking became a form of meditation, a way of being present with the breath, with the body, with the world around them. Tanzen was completely absorbed in this walking meditation, his mind as clear and as open as the sky above. Ekido, however, was struggling. His mind kept returning to the rules he had been taught, the precepts he was supposed to follow. He was particularly worried about the precept against touching women. As the afternoon wore on, they came to a place where the path was blocked by a wide, muddy river. The recent rains had swollen the river, and the current was strong. There was no bridge. On the bank of the river stood a young woman, dressed in a beautiful silk kimono. She was clearly distressed, her face a mask of worry. She needed to get to the other side, but the river was too deep and the current too swift for her to cross alone. She looked at the two monks with a mixture of hope and of apprehension. Ekido, seeing her, immediately averted his gaze. He stood a little distance away, his hands clasped behind his back, his face a mask of stern piety. He remembered the teachings. A monk should not look at a woman, should not speak to a woman, and most certainly should not touch a woman. He was determined to uphold his vows, to prove his spiritual strength. Tanzen, however, saw only a human being in need. He walked up to the young woman and gave her a warm, reassuring smile. "The river is high today," he said, his voice gentle. "It seems you need some help to cross." The woman, relieved by his kindness, nodded, her eyes filled with gratitude. Without another word, Tanzen bent down, lifted her in his arms, and carried her across the muddy, swirling water. He set her down gently on the other side, bowed, and then continued on his journey. Ekido followed, his mind in a state of turmoil. He was shocked, scandalized, and deeply judgmental. He could not believe what he had just seen. Tanzen, his teacher, a senior monk, had broken one of the most fundamental precepts. He had not only spoken to a woman, he had held her in his arms. Ekido's mind was a storm of righteous indignation. He replayed the scene over and over again, his disapproval growing with each step. For the next several hours, they walked in a heavy silence, but it was no longer a companionable silence. It was a silence thick with Ekido's unspoken judgment. He kept glancing at Tanzen, expecting to see some sign of guilt or of shame, but Tanzen walked on as before, his face calm, his spirit untroubled. He seemed to be completely absorbed in the beauty of the late afternoon, in the way the setting sun was turning the clouds to shades of pink and of orange. Finally, as they approached the temple where they were to spend the night, Ekido could contain himself no longer. His frustration and his disapproval burst out of him. "Tanzen," he said, his voice tight with accusation. "We monks are not supposed to go near females, especially not young and lovely ones. It is dangerous. Why did you do that?" He stood there, his arms crossed, his face a mask of self-righteousness, fully expecting Tanzen to be chastened by his words. Tanzen stopped walking and looked at Ekido, his gaze clear and direct, but without a trace of anger or of defensiveness. A gentle smile played on his lips. "Oh, the woman by the river," he said, as if recalling a distant memory. "I set her down on the other side of the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Ekido stood there, stunned into silence. The simple question, spoken with such gentle wisdom, cut through the noise of his mind like a sharp sword. He had been carrying the woman in his mind for hours. He had been carrying the weight of his own judgment, his own righteousness, his own attachment to the rules. Tanzen had performed a simple act of compassion and had then let it go completely. Ekido, on the other hand, had turned it into a heavy burden, a source of inner turmoil, a barrier between himself and the present moment. Is less than number one. Ampere, well-known Zen proverb says, "Let go or be dragged." In that moment, Aikido understood the profound truth of those words. He had been dragging the memory of the woman, the weight of his own judgment, for miles. He had been so caught up in the story he was telling himself about what had happened that he had completely missed the beauty of the journey, the peace of the walking meditation, the companionship of his teacher. He had been walking through a paradise of his own making, but he had been living in a hell of his own creation. He looked at Tanzen, at his calm and untroubled face, and he saw the freedom of a mind that knows how to let go. He saw the wisdom of a heart that is guided not by rigid rules, but by a deep and a spontaneous compassion. He saw the peace of a spirit that lives fully in the present moment, unburdened by the past, unafraid of the future, and in that moment of seeing, something within him let go. The heavy burden he had been carrying simply fell away. He took a deep breath, and for the first time in hours, he truly saw the world around him. He saw the deep purple of the evening sky, the first star beginning to twinkle above the dark silhouette of the mountains. He heard the gentle chirping of the crickets, the sound of the wind in the pine trees. He felt the cool evening air on his skin. He was here, now, and in this simple, direct experience of the present moment, he found a peace that was far deeper, far more real than the self-righteous satisfaction he had been clinging to. They walked the rest of the way to the temple in a new kind of silence. It was a silence that was not empty, but full. It was a silence that was filled with a shared understanding, a shared sense of peace. Ekido had learned a lesson that day that he would never forget. He had learned that the heaviest burdens are not the ones we carry in our arms, but the ones we carry in our minds. He had learned that the path to peace is not a path of rigid adherence to rules, but a path of letting go, of compassion, of a deep and a trusting surrender to the flow of life. Let the gentle echo of these stories fade into the background, like ripples slowly subsiding on the surface of a still pond. The teachings have been offered, the seeds have been planted. Now is the time for complete and total rest. There is nothing more to learn, nothing more to understand. All that is left is to surrender to the soft, silent embrace of the night. Bring your awareness to the simple, physical reality of your body. Feel the gentle contact of the fabric on your skin, the subtle pressure where your body meets the surface beneath you. Allow your body to become heavy, as if it were made of warm, soft sand. Feel it sinking, releasing, letting go of all tension, all holding. Your body knows how to rest. It has been longing for this moment of complete surrender. Give it permission to let go entirely. Notice the gentle, rhythmic tide of your breath. It flows in and it flows out, a silent, effortless dance that has been with you since the moment of your birth. You do not need to control it. You do not need to change it. Simply rest your attention on it, as you would rest your hand on the head of a sleeping child. Let the breath be your anchor to this present moment, a gentle, rocking motion that is lulling you into a state of deep and profound peace. With each exhalation, imagine that you are releasing a fine, grey mist. This mist is made of all the thoughts, the worries, the plans, the memories that have been occupying your mind. Watch it as it leaves your body, dissolving into the vast, open space of the room. With each breath out, you are becoming lighter, clearer, more empty. You are creating a space within you, a space of pure, untroubled silence. With each inhalation, imagine that you are breathing in a soft, luminous silver light. This light is the very essence of peace. It fills your entire body, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. It flows into every cell, every muscle, every nerve, bringing with it a feeling of deep and a healing calm. Your body is becoming a vessel of light, a temple of peace. You are luminous, you are serene, you are at rest. The stories we have heard tonight are like fingers pointing to the moon, the scholar's empty cup, the monk's unburdened shoulders, the traveler's sweet strawberry, the master's quiet heart, the still mind in the courtyard, the generous hand on the muddy road. They all point to the same silent, luminous moon of your own true nature. Now, you can let go of the fingers and simply rest your gaze on the moon itself. You are the moon. You are the silent, aware presence that has been here all along, witnessing the unfolding of your life with a quiet and an impartial grace. You are the light that shines in the darkness, the peace that is untouched by the storms of the world. You are not the fleeting clouds of your thoughts and emotions. You are the vast, open, and eternal sky. Rest in this knowing. Let it be a deep and a silent conviction in the very marrow of your bones. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing you need to fix. There is nothing you need to attain. You are already whole. You are already complete. You are already at peace. All that is required is to stop believing the stories that tell you otherwise. Let the boundaries of your body begin to soften. Imagine that you are merging with the quiet of the room, with the darkness of the night. You are no longer a separate, isolated self. You are a part of the vast, interconnected web of existence. You are as vast as the night sky, as deep as the silent ocean, as peaceful as the sleeping earth. The journey is over. You have arrived at the destination that you never left. You are home, home in the quiet, peaceful, and boundless mystery of your own being. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to say. There is only this, the deep, silent, and profoundly restorative peace of a dreamless sleep. Rest now, sleep now, be at peace. Before you drift away entirely, we invite you to share a quiet comment below. Let us know the time and the place from which you are listening. It is a simple, beautiful way to connect our solitary journeys into rest, creating a global tapestry of peace. Your presence, even in silence, is a gift to this community. Thank you for being here. Sleep well. Let the gentle resonance of these final words guide you into the deepest valley of your rest. The stories have been told, their wisdom absorbed into the quiet soil of your subconscious. Like the moon that has guided our journey, they have illuminated a path back to the home you have never truly left, the silent, peaceful core of your own being. Now, all that remains is to rest in that home, to dissolve into the boundless peace that is your true nature. Imagine yourself not in a room, but in a vast and silent temple. The walls are made of the night sky, and the pillars are ancient trees that reach up to the stars. The floor is a still, dark lake, perfectly reflecting the moon and the stars above. There is no sound here, but the sound of your own quiet breath, a sound that is one with the silence of the universe. This temple is your own heart. It is the sanctuary of your own awareness. In the center of this temple, a single lotus flower is floating on the dark water. Its petals are a luminous, pearlescent white, and at its heart is a single, radiant jewel. This jewel is your own true nature, the unborn mind. It is inherently bright, clear, and perfect. It has never been stained by the mud of your past, never been disturbed by the storms of your life. It is the source of all the light, all the peace, all the love that you have ever known. The scholar Kenji came to the temple with a mind full of mud, the accumulated dirt of years of intellectual pride. The master's teaching was a gentle rain that washed away the mud, revealing the pristine lotus flower that had been there all along. As you rest here, allow the gentle rain of this silence to wash away the mud of your own mind, the accumulated dirt of your worries and your certainties, and see, in the quiet clarity that remains, the perfect unstained lotus of your own true nature. The monk Ekido was carrying a heavy stone of judgment, and it was sinking him. He believed the stone was the truth, the only way. Tanzen showed him that he could simply open his hand and let the stone fall away. The stone was a story, a belief, a cloud covering the bright jewel of his own compassionate heart. As you lie here, feel the weight of any stones you may be carrying. The stone of resentment, the stone of fear, the stone of self-criticism. You do not need to carry them any longer. You can open the hand of your mind and let them go. Feel the lightness, the freedom, the buoyancy that comes as you release these burdens and allow your heart to float freely on the still waters of peace. The traveler on the cliff found the jewel of his own true nature in the most unlikely of places, in a single sweet strawberry. In a moment of utter desperation, he let go of the story of his life and death, and he tasted the pure, unadulterated reality of the present moment. That sweetness was the taste of the jewel, the taste of the unborn mind. It is a sweetness that is always available to you, in every breath, in every sensation, in every simple, ordinary moment of your life. As you rest here, let go of the grand stories and taste the simple, profound sweetness of this one single, precious moment. Hakuun was a man who lived from the jewel. His life was a continuous, radiant expression of its light. He was not attached to the reflections on the surface of the lake. He was not moved by the praise or the blame of the villagers, He was rooted in the deep, unshakable stillness of his own heart. His peace was not something he achieved, it was something he was. As you rest here, know that this same peace is at the very core of your being. It is the jewel within the lotus. It is your birthright. You can rest in it, trust in it, and allow its quiet light to illuminate your life from within. The monks in the courtyard were arguing about the reflections, about the flag and the wind, while the master pointed to the lake itself, to the still mind that was creating the reflections. And the traveler on the muddy road gave away a diamond, only to discover the infinitely more precious jewel of his own compassionate heart. All these stories are paths leading back to this central truth. You are the jewel. You are the light. You are the peace you have been searching for. There is no need to strive. There is no need to seek. There is only a need to be still and to recognize what has been here all along. The temple is quiet now. The stories have faded. The moon is high in the sky, its light pouring down like a silent blessing. The lotus flower floats on the still, dark water, its jewel heart radiating a soft, gentle light. This is you. This is your true home. This is the peace that passes all understanding. Let this image be the final gateway to your sleep. Let yourself merge with the stillness of the temple, with the luminosity of the jewel, with the deep, quiet peace of your own true nature. You are safe. You are whole. You are at peace. The night holds you in its gentle, loving embrace. The silence sings you a lullaby of profound and a lasting rest. Sleep now. Sleep in the light of your own heart. Sleep in the boundless peace of the unborn mind. We wish you a deep and a restorative rest, and we thank you for sharing this journey with us. Before you drift away, feel free to leave a comment, a silent digital footprint of your peaceful journey tonight. The temple of the heart is now steeped in a silence that is absolute and profound. The last echoes of the stories have dissolved, leaving only the pure, resonant stillness of the present moment. The moon of your own awareness hangs high in the inner sky, its gentle silver light illuminating a landscape of perfect peace. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to know. The journey has ended, and you have arrived where you have always been, at home, in the boundless mystery of your own being. Feel the final letting go. Feel the muscles of your face soften, the jaw unclench, the space between your eyebrows widen. Feel the weight of your arms and legs, heavy and inert, completely given over to the pull of the earth. Your body is a vessel of stillness, a small, quiet island in the vast, silent ocean of the night. There is no effort, no resistance, no holding on. There is only the simple, profound, and peaceful state of being. Your breath is now a whisper, a faint and subtle tide that you can barely perceive. It is the gentle breathing of the universe itself, and you are a part of that breath. You are breathing with the trees, with the mountains, with the sleeping earth. The sense of a separate self, a small me that lives inside your body, has begun to dissolve. You are merging with the allness of things, with the great, silent, and unified reality that lies beyond all names and forms. The jewel in the heart of the lotus, your own true nature, is radiating its light without obstruction. It is a light that is not born and does not die. It is a light that is not affected by the passing of time or the changing of circumstances. It is the light of pure, unconditional, and boundless awareness. It is the light that is looking out through your eyes when you are awake, and it is the light that rests in itself when you are asleep. It is the constant, unwavering, and eternal ground of your being. To know this is the ultimate peace. It is the end of all searching, the end of all striving, the end of all fear. You are not a fragile, mortal being, struggling for survival in a hostile world. You are a timeless, immortal presence, a unique and a precious expression of the one infinite life. You are a wave in the ocean of consciousness, and the ocean is your true identity. The wave may rise and fall, but the ocean is forever. Let this deep, quiet knowing be the final thought that dissolves into the silence of your sleep. Let it be the seed of a profound and a lasting transformation in your life. You can carry this peace with you, not as a memory, but as a living presence. You can meet the challenges of your days with the quiet strength of the mountain, the gentle flexibility of the bamboo, the open generosity of the traveler, the unshakable equanimity of the master. But for now, there are no challenges. There is no day. There is only this, the deep, dark, and velvety embrace of a profoundly restorative sleep. You are held. You are safe. You are at peace. The great, silent lullaby of the universe is singing you to rest. Let go now. Let go completely and sink into the deep, dreamless, and blissful ocean of a perfect sleep. We wish you a good night and a gentle, peaceful awakening. Thank you for sharing this journey into stillness. Your presence has been a blessing. Now, let us turn our attention from the winding path of the two monks to a story that is both terrifying and beautiful, a story that speaks to the very heart of what it means to be alive in this fleeting, precious world. It is the story of a traveler, a man like any other, who one day found himself face to face with the raw and untamed power of life and death. Imagine this traveler walking through a vast, wild landscape. The sun is high in the sky, and the air is thick with the scent of pine and wild herbs. He is walking with a light heart, enjoying the solitude and the beauty of his surroundings. But suddenly, his peace is shattered. From the dense undergrowth, a huge tiger emerges, its eyes burning with a fierce, primal hunger. The traveler's heart freezes in his chest. He turns and runs, his feet flying over the uneven ground, the sound of the tiger's pursuit, a terrifying thunder behind him. He runs without thinking, his body fueled by pure adrenaline. He comes to the edge of a great cliff, a sheer drop into a rocky abyss. There is nowhere to go. The tiger is closing in behind him, its hot breath a promise of imminent death. In a desperate, last-ditch effort to save himself, the traveler spots a thick vine growing from the cliff face. He grabs hold of it and swings himself over the edge, dangling precariously between the sky above and the rocks below. He looks up, and his heart sinks. The tiger is peering down at him from the cliff edge, its claws digging into the earth, its eyes filled with a patient, predatory hunger. He looks down, and his blood runs cold. At the bottom of the cliff, another tiger is pacing back and forth, its head tilted up, waiting for him to fall. He is trapped, suspended between two certain deaths. As if his situation were not desperate enough, he then notices something else. 2 small mice, one white and one black, have scurried out of a crevice in the rock face and have begun to gnaw at the vine he is clinging to. He can hear the faint, persistent sound of their tiny teeth, steadily eating away at his only lifeline. The white mouse represents the day, and the black mouse represents the night. Time, in its relentless, indifferent passage, is gnawing away at the very fabric of his life. His mind is a storm of terror. He is caught in an impossible situation, a perfect metaphor for the human condition. We are all, in a sense, hanging from a vine, with the past chasing us and the future waiting for us, while time steadily gnaws away at our present moment. We are all suspended between birth and death. Our lives are fragile and a fleeting thing. In this moment of absolute terror, with death above, death below, and the steady erosion of his only support, something remarkable happens. The traveler, his senses heightened by the intensity of his predicament, notices something he had not seen before. Growing from the cliff face, just within his reach, is a small, wild strawberry plant, and on that plant, there is a single, perfect, ripe strawberry, glowing like a tiny red jewel in the sunlight. He looks at the tiger above. He looks at the tiger below. He hears the gnawing of the mice. And then he looks at the strawberry. And in that moment, a profound shift occurs within him. He realizes that in this very instant, despite the terror, despite the hopelessness of his situation, there is also this, a perfect, beautiful, ripe strawberry. The past is a tiger he cannot escape. The future is a tiger he cannot avoid. The passage of time is a relentless gnawing he cannot stop. But this strawberry, this single, sweet, present moment, is his. With his free hand, he reaches out, plucks the strawberry from the vine, and brings it to his lips. He closes his eyes and eats it. And in that moment, there is no tiger above, no tiger below, no mice gnawing at the vine. There is only the taste of the strawberry, a burst of sweetness on his tongue, a moment of pure, unadulterated, present moment joy. The story ends with a simple, profound sentence. How sweet it tasted. This story is a powerful teaching about the nature of life and the practice of Zen. It is not about ignoring danger or pretending that our problems do not exist. The tigers are real. The mice are real. The danger is real. The story is about where we choose to place our attention. It is about finding the sweetness of the present moment, even in the midst of life's greatest difficulties. The great Zen master Hakuin once said, "Meditation in the midst of activity is 1,000 times superior to meditation in stillness." The traveler on the cliff edge is practicing the ultimate form of meditation in the midst of activity. He is finding the still point in the turning world. We spend so much of our lives worrying about the tigers of our past and our future. We are haunted by regrets, by resentments, by the things we cannot change. We are anxious about what is to come, about the uncertainties, the fears, the inevitable end of our own vine. And in all this, looking backward and looking forward, we miss the only thing that is ever truly real, the present moment. We miss the strawberry. What is the strawberry in your life, right now, in this very moment? It may be something as simple as the feeling of your breath moving in and out of your body. It may be the warmth of the blanket that covers you. It may be the quietness of the room around you. It may be the simple fact that you are alive, here, now, listening to these words. The strawberry is not a reward for escaping our problems. It is the gift that is always present, even in the midst of them. The practice of Zen is the practice of learning to taste the strawberry. It is the practice of bringing our attention, again and again, to the present moment, without judgment, without resistance. It is the practice of noticing the beauty, the sweetness, the simple reality of what is, right here, right now. It is not about creating a perfect life, free from tigers and from cliffs. It is about finding the perfection that already exists in this imperfect, fleeting, and incredibly precious life. So as you continue to drift towards sleep, let the image of the traveler and the strawberry be a gentle reminder. You do not need to solve all your problems tonight. You do not need to figure out how to escape all the tigers in your life. You simply need to rest. You simply need to be present. You simply need to taste the sweetness of this one, single, precious moment. Breathe in and know that you are breathing in. Breathe out and know that you are breathing out. This is your strawberry. How sweet it tastes. Our journey now takes us to a small village nestled at the foot of a mountain. In this village lived a Zen master named Hakuun. He was not a master who lived in a remote monastery, surrounded by disciples. He lived in a simple hut on the edge of the village, and he was known and loved by all the villagers. He was a man of profound peace, of a quiet and unassuming wisdom. His presence was a source of comfort and of stability for the entire community. Hakuun lived a life of great simplicity. He tended a small vegetable garden. He chopped his own wood. He cooked his own simple meals. He spent his days in quiet meditation and in gentle, helpful interactions with the villagers. If someone was sick, he would visit them with a soothing broth. If someone was in trouble, he would offer a listening ear and a few words of simple, practical wisdom. He never preached. He never judged. He simply lived his life with a deep and a quiet equanimity. One day, a great scandal erupted in the village. A young, unmarried woman who lived near the master was found to be pregnant. Her parents were furious and demanded to know who the father was. At first, the young woman refused to say, but after much pressure and many threats, she finally named Hakuun, the Zen master. Her parents, in a fit of rage and of self-righteousness, stormed to Hakuun's hut, followed by a crowd of shocked and angry villagers. They stood before him, their faces contorted with accusation. "You hypocrite," the father shouted. "You pretend to be a holy man, but you have brought shame upon our family. You are the father of our daughter's child." The villagers murmured in agreement, their admiration for the master turning to scorn and to contempt. Hakuun listened to their angry words without any change in his calm and peaceful expression. When they had finished their tirade, he simply looked at them and said, with a quiet and untroubled voice, "Is that so?" After the child was born, a beautiful baby boy, the parents brought him to Hakuun. "You are the father," they said, their voices dripping with contempt. "So it is your responsibility to care for him." They thrust the baby into his arms and left, washing their hands of the whole affair. Hakuun accepted the child with a gentle and a loving heart. His reputation in the village was destroyed. He was no longer a respected master, but a pariah, a source of gossip and of scandal. But Hakuun's equanimity remained unshaken. He cared for the child with great tenderness and with great love. He would go to his neighbors, the very people who now scorned him, and he would ask for milk for the baby and for whatever else the child needed. He endured their insults, their cold shoulders, their looks of disgust, with a quiet and a patient dignity. He never offered a word of defense, a word of explanation. He simply went about the business of caring for this small, helpless human being who had been entrusted to him. He learned to be a father. He learned the rhythms of a baby's life, the feeding, the changing, the sleepless nights. He would hold the child in his arms and sing him to sleep with ancient, gentle chants. He would walk with him in the garden, showing him the flowers, the butterflies, the way the light filtered through the leaves of the trees. The child became the center of his world, and he loved him with a deep and a selfless love. The villagers, watching from a distance, were amazed by his patience, by his gentleness, by his unwavering commitment to the child. A year passed. The young woman, the child's mother, could no longer bear the weight of her lie. Her conscience tormented her. Finally, she confessed to her parents that the real father was a young man who worked at the fish market. She had been too afraid to name him, and so she had blamed the one person in the village who she knew would not defend himself, the one person whose compassion was so great that he would accept any burden without complaint. Her parents were horrified, filled with a terrible shame and a profound remorse. They rushed to Hakuin's hut and prostrated themselves before him, begging for his forgiveness. "We are so sorry," they cried, their tears streaming down their faces. "We were wrong. Our daughter has confessed. You are not the father. Please, give us back our grandson. We will care for him now." Hakuin listened to their tearful confession with the same calm and untroubled expression with which he had listened to their accusations a year before. He looked at the child, who was now a toddler, playing happily on the floor of the hut. A gentle smile touched his lips. He picked up the child, gave him a last loving hug, and handed him to his grandparents. And as he did so, he simply said, with a quiet and a gentle voice, "Is that so?" This story is a profound teaching on the nature of equanimity, of non-attachment. Hakuin was a man who was free from the tyranny of praise and of blame. His inner peace was not dependent on the opinions of others. It was not something that could be given to him by their admiration, nor could it be taken away by their scorn. He was like a deep, still lake. The storms of life, the winds of praise and of blame, might disturb the surface, but the depths of his being remained calm, untouched, at peace. The great Zen master Dogen once said, in a phrase that is both mysterious and profound, "One continuous mistake can also be Zen." Hakuin lived this teaching. He allowed the mistake of the false accusation to unfold without resistance, without struggle, and in doing so, he transformed it into a powerful demonstration of the freedom that comes from a life of non-attachment. We spend so much of our lives on a frantic roller coaster of praise and of blame. We are elated when people approve of us, and we are devastated when they disapprove. We are constantly trying to manage our reputation, to control what others think of us. We are attached to our identities, to our stories about who we are, and this attachment is a source of endless suffering. Hakuin shows us another way. He shows us the freedom of a mind that is not attached to any particular outcome, to any particular identity. He is free to respond to each moment with a simple, compassionate, and appropriate action, unburdened by the need to defend himself, to prove himself, to be seen in a certain way. His simple phrase, "Is that so?" is not a statement of indifference. It is a statement of radical acceptance. It is a recognition that life is as it is, that people are as they are. It is a letting go of the need to argue with reality. When he is accused, he accepts it. When the truth is revealed, he accepts it. He is like a mirror, reflecting whatever is before him, without distortion, without judgment. He is a man who has found his home in the quiet center of the storm, in the unshakable peace of a mind that is free from the grip of the ego. As you rest here, on the edge of sleep, let the story of Hakuun be a gentle invitation to let go of your own attachments. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to be approved of. Let go of the stories you tell yourself about who you are, about what you need to be happy, and just for a moment, rest in the simple reality of what is. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Feel the warmth of your body. Hear the quiet sounds in the room around you. This is your reality, and in the simple, non-judgmental acceptance of this reality, there is a profound and a lasting peace. Is that so? Let us now travel to a bustling temple courtyard, where a group of monks has gathered after their morning meditation. The air is fresh and cool, and a gentle breeze is making the temple flag, a long, colorful banner, flap and ripple in the wind. The scene is one of peace and of harmony, but in the minds of two of the younger monks, a debate is raging. One of the monks, a man named Jiro, pointed to the flag and said with great certainty, "Look, the flag is moving. It is a living, dancing thing." The other monk, Kenji, shook his head in disagreement. "You are mistaken, my brother," he said, with an equally confident tone. "The flag has no life of its own. It is the wind that is moving, and the flag is simply responding to its power." Jiro, not wanting to be contradicted, insisted, "But we can see the flag moving. It is rippling and waving. To say that it is not moving is to deny the evidence of our own eyes." Kenji, a man who prided himself on his logical mind, replied, "And we can feel the wind on our faces. The wind is the cause, and the movement of the flag is the effect. It is a simple matter of cause and effect." Their argument grew more and more heated. They were no longer two brothers sharing a peaceful morning, but two adversaries, each determined to prove the other wrong. Their voices grew louder, their gestures more animated. They had become so caught up in their own opinions, in their own rightness, that they had lost all sense of the peace and the stillness they had just been cultivating in their meditation. The sixth patriarch of Zen, a great master named Huineng, happened to be passing through the courtyard. He was an old man with a face that was as serene as a 1,000-year-old statue, but his eyes were bright and full of a lively intelligence. He stopped and listened to their argument for a moment, a gentle, almost imperceptible smile on his lips. The two young monks, seeing the master, fell silent, a little embarrassed to have been caught in such a heated and unenlightened debate. Huineng looked at them, and then he looked at the flag, which was still rippling in the breeze, and then he said, in a voice that was both quiet and powerful, "It is not the wind that is moving. It is not the flag that is moving. It is your minds that are moving." The two monks stood there, speechless. The master's words were like a sudden clap of thunder on a clear day. They shattered their neat and tidy arguments, their confident assertions. They had been so focused on the external world, on the flag and the wind, that they had completely overlooked the one thing that was truly moving, their own minds. It was their minds that were creating the argument, their minds that were creating the division, their minds that were creating the disturbance. The flag was just a piece of cloth. The wind was just a movement of air. They were neutral, empty phenomena. The meaning, the argument, the conflict, all of it was a projection of their own minds. A great Zen master once said, "When thoughts arise, then do all things arise." In that moment, Jiro and Kenji understood. They had been creating a world of conflict with their own thoughts. They had been disturbing their own peace with their own moving minds. They bowed deeply to the master, their hearts filled with a new and a humbling understanding. The world they had been arguing about was not the real world. It was a world that had been filtered through their own opinions, their own judgments, their own need to be right. The real world was much simpler, much quieter, much more peaceful. It was a world where the flag rippled, the wind blew, and the mind was still. This story is a profound teaching about the nature of reality and the power of the mind. We spend so much of our lives like Jiro and Kenji, arguing about whether it is the flag or the wind that is moving. We get caught up in endless debates about politics, about religion, about the right way to live. We are convinced that our own perception of reality is the only correct one, and we are willing to go to great lengths to defend it. And in all this arguing, in all this striving to be right, we lose our peace, we lose our connection to the simple, underlying reality of what is. The practice of Zen is the practice of learning to see the world as it is, without the filter of our own moving minds. It is the practice of recognizing that our thoughts are not reality. They are just thoughts, fleeting and insubstantial, like clouds passing through the vast open sky of our awareness. When we can learn to watch our thoughts without getting caught up in them, without believing them, without identifying with them, then we can begin to find a new kind of freedom, a new kind of peace. The world does not need us to have an opinion about it. The flag does not need us to decide whether it is moving or not. It is simply what it is. And when we can let go of our need to label, to judge, to define, then we can begin to experience the world with a new sense of wonder, of intimacy, of a deep and a quiet joy. We can begin to see that everything is a miracle, that every moment is a gift. As you lie here, resting in the quiet of this moment, simply notice the movement of your own mind. You do not need to stop your thoughts. You do not need to control them. Simply watch them as they arise, and as they pass away. See them for what they are, just thoughts, just movements of the mind. They are not you. You are the still, silent awareness that is watching them. And in this simple act of watching, of not getting caught up, of not believing every thought that comes into your head, you can find a profound and a lasting peace. You can find the still point in the turning world, the quiet center of your own being, where the wind and the flag are one, and the mind is at rest. Our journey now takes us to a muddy, rutted road in the countryside. The rain has been falling for days, and the road is a treacherous path of thick, clinging mud. A traveler is making his way along this road, his steps slow and heavy. He is tired, he is hungry, and he is covered in mud. but he is a man of a cheerful and a resilient spirit, and he continues on his journey with a quiet and a patient determination. As he is walking, his eye is caught by a sudden glint of light in the mud. He bends down and brushes away the thick brown earth, and there, lying in the mud, is a huge and a magnificent diamond. It is a stone of incredible beauty, its facets catching the faint light and refracting it into 1,000 tiny rainbows. It is a treasure of immense value, a fortune that could change his life forever. The traveler picks up the diamond and cleans it on his sleeve. He holds it in the palm of his hand and marvels at its beauty. He could sell it and live in luxury for the rest of his days. He would never have to walk on a muddy road again. He would never have to be hungry or tired again. But as he holds the diamond, a strange feeling comes over him. The diamond is beautiful, but it is also cold and hard. It does not warm his heart. It does not fill the emptiness in his stomach. It is just a stone. He puts the diamond in his pocket and continues on his way. A little while later, he meets another traveler, coming from the opposite direction. This man is even more wretched than he is. His clothes are in rags, his face is gaunt with hunger, and his eyes are filled with a deep and a hopeless despair. The first traveler, the one with the diamond in his pocket, is moved with a deep and a spontaneous compassion. He stops the man and says, "Friend, you look hungry and tired. I do not have much, but let me share what I have with you." He reaches into his bag and takes out a piece of dry bread and a small flask of water. He gives them to the man, who receives them with a look of stunned gratitude. And then, the first traveler does something extraordinary. He reaches into his pocket, takes out the magnificent diamond, and places it in the other man's hand. "I found this on the road," he says simply. "Perhaps it will be of some use to you." The other man stares at the diamond, his eyes wide with disbelief. He cannot believe that a complete stranger would give him such a treasure. He is speechless, his heart overflowing with a gratitude that is too deep for words. The first traveler simply smiles, bows, and continues on his way, his heart feeling strangely light, his step no longer heavy. This story is a beautiful teaching about the nature of true wealth. The first traveler, in his simple act of generosity, discovered a treasure that was far greater than the diamond he gave away. He discovered the treasure of a giving heart, the richness of a spirit that is free from the grip of greed and of attachment. The great Zen master Dogen once wrote, "To be enlightened is to be intimate with all things." In his act of giving, the traveler became intimate with the other man's suffering, with his own compassion, with the simple, profound joy of helping another human being. He became intimate with the true nature of his own heart. We spend so much of our lives chasing after diamonds. We believe that happiness is to be found in the accumulation of wealth, of possessions, of status. We work so hard to fill our lives with things, hoping that they will fill the emptiness within us. But the things of this world can never truly satisfy the deepest longings of the human heart. They are cold and hard, like the diamond in the story. True wealth, true happiness, is to be found not in what we get, but in what we give. It is to be found in the warmth of human connection, in the joy of a compassionate heart, in the freedom of a spirit that is not attached to the things of this world. The traveler on the muddy road was a man who understood this. He was a man who was rich not because he had a diamond, but because he could give it away. He was a man who had discovered that the greatest treasure is not something you can hold in your hand, but something you can feel in your heart. It is the treasure of a love that flows freely, of a compassion that knows no bounds, of a joy that is found in the simple act of giving. As you rest here, in the quiet of this moment, let the story of the diamond be a gentle reminder of what is truly valuable in your own life. It is not the things you own. It is not the money you have in the bank. It is the love you have in your heart. It is the kindness you show to others. It is the compassion you feel for all living things. This is your true treasure, and it is a treasure that can never be lost, a treasure that only grows the more you give it away. Rest now in the richness of your own heart, in the boundless wealth of a spirit that is open, loving, and free. Our journey through these ancient stories is now drawing to a close. We have walked with scholars and with monks, with travelers and with masters. We have seen a cup overflow. We have carried a burden we did not need to carry. We have tasted a strawberry in the face of death. We have witnessed the power of a quiet heart. We have understood that it is the mind that moves, and we have discovered a treasure on a muddy road. Each of these stories is a finger pointing to the moon. They are not the moon itself, but they can guide our gaze to the luminous, silent truth that is always present in our own hearts. Now, let us weave these threads together into a single, seamless tapestry of peace. The journey of practice, the path of Zen, is not a journey to a distant destination. It is a journey home, a return to the simple, profound reality of this present moment. It is the practice of emptying our cup, of letting go of our preconceived ideas, of our judgments, of our need to be right, so that we can receive the world with a fresh and an open mind. It is the practice of setting down the burdens we carry in our minds, the resentments of the past, the anxieties of the future, so that we can walk with a light and an easy step. It is the practice of tasting the strawberry, of finding the sweetness in this one precious, fleeting moment, even in the midst of life's difficulties. It is the practice of cultivating an unshakable equanimity, a peace that is not dependent on the praise or the blame of others, a peace that is rooted in the deep, still center of our own being. It is the practice of recognizing that it is our own minds that create our world, that our thoughts are not reality, and that we can find freedom by not getting caught up in their endless movement. And it is the practice of discovering our true wealth, the boundless treasure of a compassionate and a generous heart, a treasure that only grows the more we give it away. As the temple bell rings in the dusk, its deep, resonant sound vibrating through the still evening air, let it be a call to you. Let it be a call to return to your breath, to the quiet sanctuary of your own heart. The stories are over, but the practice continues. The practice is in every breath you take, in every step you walk, in every simple, ordinary moment of your life. For it is in these ordinary moments that the extraordinary reveals itself. It is in the washing of a bowl, the drinking of a cup of tea, the watching of a sunset, that we can find the whole of Zen, the whole of peace, the whole of a life that is awake and alive. Now, as you settle more deeply into the comfort of your bed, let go of everything. Let go of the stories. Let go of the teachings. Let go of the need to understand, the need to remember. These stories have planted their seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. They will do their work quietly, gently, without any effort from you. Trust in this process. Trust in the natural wisdom of your own being. There is nothing left to do now but to rest, to allow your body to become heavy and soft, to allow your breath to become slow and shallow, to allow your mind to become as vast and as open as the night sky. You are held in the silence, the way the valley is held by the mountains, the way the moon is held by the sky. You are safe, you are at peace, and you are ready for the deep and restorative journey of sleep. May you rest in the deep, still awareness that has always been here, waiting beneath the surface of your thoughts, clear and fresh and inexhaustible. May you find your own inner well, your own source of peace, and may you awaken in the morning refreshed, renewed, and ready to meet the new day with an open heart and a beginner's mind. Sleep well, and thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you will share your experience with us in the comments below, letting us know what time it is and where you are listening from. Your presence is a gift. Let the image of the two monks and the temple flag settle gently in your awareness. Their argument, so full of human certainty and intellectual pride, is a mirror for our own minds. We are constantly creating a world of division with our thoughts, a world of right and wrong, of this and that. We believe so strongly in our own perceptions that we forget they are just that, perceptions, not the ultimate reality. The Master's simple, profound statement, "It is your minds that are moving," is an invitation to look deeper, to go beyond the surface of our own thoughts and opinions. Imagine your mind as a vast, open sky. Thoughts, feelings, and sensations are like clouds that drift through this sky. Some are dark and stormy, others are light and wispy. But the sky itself is not the clouds. The sky is the vast, unchanging awareness in which the clouds appear and disappear. The practice of Zen is the practice of learning to identify with the sky, not with the clouds. It is the practice of resting in that open, spacious awareness and allowing our thoughts and feelings to come and go without getting caught up in them, without being disturbed by them. When we can do this, we find a new kind of freedom. We are no longer at the mercy of our own moving minds. We can experience the world with a new sense of clarity, of peace, of a deep and a quiet joy. We can see the flag and the wind for what they are, without the need to create a conflict between them. We can see the world as it is, in all its mysterious and beautiful unity. And in that seeing, we find our own true nature, our own original face, the face we had before the world began to move in our minds. Now, let us leave the temple courtyard and return to the muddy road, to the story of the traveler and the diamond. This story, in its simple beauty, speaks to the very heart of what it means to live a spiritual life. It is a story about the difference between worldly wealth and spiritual wealth, between the treasures of the hand and the treasures of the heart. The traveler on the muddy road is a man who has discovered a secret. He has discovered that true happiness is not found in what we possess, but in what we are able to give away. He has discovered that the more we cling to things, the more we are imprisoned by them, and the more we let go, the more we are free. The diamond, for all its beauty and its value, is a burden. It is something to be protected, to be worried about, to be hidden. The act of giving it away is an act of liberation. It is a letting go of a weight a release from a prison. In that moment of giving, the traveler becomes the richest man in the world. He is rich in compassion, rich in generosity, rich in a joy that the diamond could never buy. He has discovered a treasure that is not subject to the ups and downs of the world, a treasure that can never be stolen, a treasure that only grows the more it is shared. He has discovered the boundless wealth of an open and a loving heart. We live in a world that is obsessed with getting. We are constantly encouraged to want more, to have more, to be more. But the path of Zen is a path of letting go. It is a path of discovering that we already have everything we need, that the kingdom of heaven is within us, that our own true nature is a treasure of infinite value. The great Zen master Linji once said, "If you want to be free, get to know your real self. It has no form, no appearance, no root, no basis, no abode, but it is lively and buoyant." Coming as Sa 11. She was 11. The traveler on the muddy road has found this real self. He has found the lively and buoyant spirit within him that is not defined by what he has, but by what he is. He is a man who is free, a man who is whole, a man who is at peace, and his story is an invitation to us to find our own freedom, our own wholeness, our own peace. It is an invitation to discover the diamond that is hidden in the mud of our own hearts, the diamond of our own true nature, the diamond that shines with the light of a love that is unconditional, a compassion that is boundless, and a joy that is as vast and as open as the sky. As you continue to rest in this quiet space, let the stories we have shared tonight be like seeds planted in the garden of your mind. You do not need to tend to them. You do not need to make them grow. Simply allow them to rest in the fertile darkness of your sleep, and they will blossom in their own time, in their own way. The story of the empty cup will remind you to let go of your certainties and to embrace the wisdom of a beginner's mind. The story of the two monks will remind you to set down the burdens of your past and to walk with a light and an easy step. The story of the strawberry will remind you to find the sweetness in this present moment, even in the midst of life's difficulties. The story of kōans will remind you to cultivate an unshakable peace, a peace that is not dependent on the praise or the blame of others. The story of the flag and the wind will remind you that it is your own mind that creates your world, and that you can find freedom by not getting caught up in its endless movement. And the story of the diamond will remind you that your true wealth is not in what you have, but in what you give, in the boundless treasure of a compassionate and a loving heart. These are not just stories, they are keys. They are keys that can unlock the doors of your own heart, the doors of your own mind, and lead you to the peace that you have been searching for, the peace that has been here all along, waiting for you to come home. So rest now. Rest in the peace of your own true nature. Rest in the silence of your own being, and let the gentle river of sleep carry you to the vast and open ocean of a deep and a dreamless rest. As we bring our journey to a gentle close, allow your awareness to settle into the simple, physical sensations of this moment. Feel the weight of your body, heavy and relaxed, sinking into the surface that supports you. Notice the gentle rhythm of your breath, a quiet, effortless tide rising and falling in the stillness of the room. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to be. There is only this, the simple, profound, and peaceful reality of this present moment. The teachings of Zen are not complex or esoteric. They are as simple and as direct as the feeling of the breath in your body. They are about coming home to ourselves, to the truth of our own experience, just as it is. The great Master Bankei taught about the unborn, the mind that is present before any thought arises, the mind that is inherently clear, peaceful, and complete. This unborn mind is your true nature. It is the silent, aware presence that is listening to these words right now. It is the stillness that underlies all the noise of your life. It is the peace that is always available, always here, when you let go of the struggle and simply rest in what is. Imagine that with every breath you take, you are breathing in a gentle, healing light. This light fills your entire body, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. It soothes every muscle, calms every nerve, and washes away any remaining tension or dis-ease. And with every breath you exhale, you are releasing all that you no longer need to carry. You are releasing the worries of the day, the plans for tomorrow, the stories of the past. You are letting go, and in that letting go, you are becoming lighter, freer, more at peace. Let the silence of this moment be your teacher. Listen to it, feel it, allow it to permeate your entire being. It is a silence that is not empty, but full. It is full of a deep and a quiet joy, a profound and a lasting peace. It is the silence of your own true nature, the silence of the unborn mind. It is the silence of the temple at midnight, the silence of the moonlit garden, the silence of the master's heart. Do not try to hold on to this peace. Do not try to grasp it or to possess it. Simply allow it to be. It is who you are. It is your birthright. It is the home to which you can always return. The path has led you here, to the threshold of a deep and a restorative sleep. It is time to let go of the path, to let go of the journey, and to simply rest in the destination that has been here all along. May your sleep be a journey into the heart of this silence, a journey into the heart of this peace. May your dreams be gentle and kind, and may you awaken in the morning with a heart that is refreshed, a mind that is clear, and a spirit that is renewed by its journey home. Thank you for sharing this quiet time with us. Before you drift away completely, feel free to leave a comment, sharing the time and the place from which you are listening. It is a beautiful way to feel our shared connection in this global sangha of sleepers. Sleep well and be at peace. Let us now return to the quiet, fragrant room where the scholar Kenji sits with the master Ryokan. The spilled tea has been cleaned, a new cup has been served, and a profound silence fills the space between them. This is not an empty silence. It is a silence that is alive, a silence that teaches. Kenji, who had arrived with a mind full of noise and a heart full of pride, is now beginning to taste the sweetness of an empty cup, the peace of a quiet mind. He watches as a single maple leaf, a vibrant crimson, detaches itself from a branch outside the window and begins its slow, graceful descent. It tumbles and turns in the still air, a silent dance of letting go. In that simple, natural event, Kenji sees the whole of the master's teaching. The leaf does not struggle. It does not cling to the branch. It simply lets go when its time has come, and it surrenders to the gentle pull of the earth. It is a perfect expression of acceptance, of a deep and a trusting surrender to the flow of life. His own mind, he realizes, has been a branch full of dead leaves, clinging desperately to what is already gone. He has been clinging to his knowledge, to his opinions, to his identity as a learned scholar. He has been so afraid of letting go, so afraid of the emptiness that might follow. But now, in the quiet presence of the Master, in the simple observation of the falling leaf, he begins to understand that emptiness is not something to be feared. It is the necessary space for something new to arise. It is the fertile ground in which the seeds of true wisdom can begin to grow. The great Zen master Dogen, whose words Kenji had studied but never truly understood, wrote, "To study the self is to forget the self." Kenji had spent his entire life studying the self, but he had only made it bigger, stronger, more solid. He had built a fortress of knowledge around his ego, and he had become a prisoner within its walls. Now, he understands that the path to freedom is not a path of addition, but a path of subtraction. It is a path of forgetting, of letting go, of allowing the self to dissolve into the vast, open expanse of the present moment. He takes another sip of the tea, the warmth of the cup in his hands, the delicate, grassy flavor on his tongue, the quiet beauty of the room. These simple, direct experiences are more real, more profound than all the complex philosophies he has ever studied. He is beginning to understand that enlightenment is not a grand, mystical experience that happens somewhere else, to someone else. It is the simple, direct, and intimate experience of this very moment, just as it is. It is the taste of tea, the falling of a leaf, the gentle rhythm of the breath. Let us now leave the scholar to his quiet awakening and travel once more with the two monks, Tanzen and Ekido. The sun is setting, and the sky is a canvas of deep purples and soft pinks. They have arrived at the temple where they will spend the night, and the heavy silence that had separated them has been replaced by a new, more gentle quiet. Ekido, the young monk who had been so burdened by his own judgment, is now walking with a new lightness, a new sense of freedom. The master's simple question, "Why are you still carrying her?" continues to echo in his mind. He sees now how he has been carrying so many things, not just the memory of the woman at the river. He has been carrying the weight of his own expectations, the burden of his desire to be a perfect monk. He has been carrying the stories of his past, the anxieties about his future, and in all this carrying, he has been missing the simple, profound beauty of the journey itself. He remembers a teaching he once heard. The mind is like a clear, still lake. When a bird flies over the lake, its reflection appears on the surface. But the bird has no intention of leaving its reflection, and the lake has no intention of holding on to it. His own mind, he realizes, has been trying to hold on to every reflection. He has been clinging to every thought, every feeling, every experience, and in doing so, he has lost his own natural clarity and stillness. He has been living in a world of ripples, a world of distorted reflections. Tanzen, in his simple, compassionate action at the river, was like the lake. He responded to the situation with a natural and an appropriate action, and then he let it go completely. He did not create a story about it. He did not judge it. He did not carry it with him. He remained as clear and as still as the lake, his peace undisturbed. A well-known Zen proverb says, "Let go or be dragged." Ekido had been dragged for miles by his own mind. Now, he is learning what it means to let go. As they settle into their simple room at the temple, Ekido looks at Tanzen with a new sense of respect and of gratitude. He sees not just a senior monk who has broken a rule, but a true master who has embodied the very heart of Zen. He sees a man who is free, a man who is compassionate, a man who is at home in the world because he is at home in himself. And in that seeing, Ekido feels a deep and a quiet joy. He is at the beginning of a new journey, a journey not to a physical destination, but to the inner landscape of his own heart, a journey of learning to let go, of learning to be free.